Welcome to Career Close-Up, a video series from Silicon Republic in partnership with IDA Ireland, in which our journalists speak to senior professionals in key sci-tech sectors from across the country to learn more about their journey through the ranks. I'm joined today by Julie Kinsella, Global Head of Sales Development at Asana. So Julie, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks Jenny, lovely to meet you.
And tell me a little bit about your current role, first of all.
We're a global organisation, so we have teams here in Dublin and across the United States, in Japan and in Australia. And the team are really responsible for generating pipeline, engaging with our customers, and it's really a talent engine for the company. So many of our team who start out as an SDR, then move into the BDR organisation, which is our outbound prospecting organisation, will typically move into a sales role over time. So we're really that talent engine for Asana.
Having started working in retail at 15, Julie gained a passion for customer service and hitting targets from a young age. She then went on to study management and marketing, which gave her many practical learnings that she still draws on today.
That was a very practical course, so work experience gave me a real taste of what it was like to work in the corporate world, and some really practical learnings that I still draw on today in my leadership role. So that was a great kind of foundation for me.
And can you tell me a little bit about a typical day for you? I'm sure no 2 days are the same, but what does your day-to-day actually look like?
Being in a global role, I travel quite a bit, so I could be away for a week to the US every month. But typically I'll start some days early for my APAC and Japan teams, could be on calls around 6 a.m. And then some evenings I'm working with the West Coast through to later hours. But I do try to, I come into the office 3 days a week, so at Asana we come in Mondays, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I really enjoy that. I love being with the team here in Dublin.
Just in terms of that flexibility, and you mentioned the different hours and things like that, how do you manage your work-life balance?
On the days that I can, a couple of days a week, I try and walk my kids to school, and I really enjoy that time with them before their days kick off. So I do try and do that as much as possible, and then I'll try and have dinner. We try and have dinner as a family a couple of nights a week as well. It can be tricky. I've taken on a lot. I'm also studying at the moment, so I'm studying with the Institute of Directors, doing a course in company direction. So that is also something that's taking up a lot of time. But what I love to do when I have the time is spend time with the kids, hosting other families, getting out for walks with the family, and just spending as much time together as we can.
And tell me a little bit about, I suppose, any surprises and challenges you've come across in your career.
It hasn't always been plain sailing, and it hasn't always been a straight line in terms of career trajectory. There have been some challenges that I've had to overcome, and I think what I've learned from that is that when one door closes, another one often opens, and it may not feel like that at the time, but I've had some really great learnings throughout my career, and going for promotions and maybe not getting them, or hoping that something was going to happen for me work-wise, and it didn't actually transpire. So there's been a lot of situations like that, and I've learned that being able to overcome those challenges is really key.
With such a strong career under her belt, I asked Julie what she wishes she could go back and tell her younger self.
I know that I'd tell myself, you can't imagine how important and critical this network that you're building and these friends that you're making in your career are going to be for the rest of your life. I've learned so much through my network, and I've been really fortunate to have my network and friends that I've made very early on in my career still very much a part of my life. So I would tell myself, nurture that, and continue to understand the importance of it.
And just taking you back to, working here in Asana in Ireland, what makes Ireland such a good place to, I suppose, live and work, both for you specifically, as well as, to work here in Asana?
I lived in San Francisco with another company for 7 years, a good few years ago now at this point, and I absolutely loved my time in California. But I will say that, there was always a draw to come back to Ireland. I went from being an SDR to a VP of North America in 6 years, and my career trajectory was, really going in a great direction. But when I had the opportunity to move back to Dublin, I had to just grab it. It was 7 years, 4 roles and 2 children later, and I was, you know, as hard as it was to leave California, I took the opportunity to come back to Dublin. And the reason being, it's such a great place to bring up children. You know, the talent pool is amazing here. The people are wonderful. The restaurants and coffee shops have really upped their game. So it's a really wonderful place to live. And I live by the coast, so I just love it.
And finally, what advice would you give to, you know, I suppose younger people starting their tech careers? You know, what would your kind of key takeaway be to help them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing I'd say is be patient. Careers can be squiggly. It's not always, you know, I understand the desire and want to kind of keep progressing and move to the next role, but I would definitely advise anyone starting out, get really good at what it is you do, and then position yourself for the next role, and know that it may not always happen on your timeline, but, you know, just do the best that you can do, and trust the process.
Great, thank you so much, Julie.
Great, thank you so much.
To find out more about the Career Close-Up series, be sure to check out siliconrepublic.com.